Hey guys, Tatiana Ward here. So, I wanted to do something jazzy for you. I know that it's, Carnival and crop over season, although I miss crop over, and I think I probably even miss Carnival, I'm not sure. But the spirit just moved me to do something crazy and eye-catching, so that's what I did. I show you another lip option at the end of this video, so make sure that you watch to the end to see how it would look with a more crazy wild color. Let me get in so you can really see it. It is a cut crease. By this time, I think I've said 100 bajillion times, and I hope that I've made it very clear that a cut crease is not the end-all be-all. You should know how to do it. It is something that you might have to pull out of your bag of tricks someday, but the average person does not want all of this jazz. This is strictly like a, hey, look at me Instagram kind of thing. But I like it. I hope you guys like it. And if you care to learn how I did it, then stay tuned. Oh, and I'm sure you guys are looking to know who the winner is of the 18-inch ring light contest that I did with Stellar Lighting Systems. Today is Thursday, so it is the end of the contest. And unfortunately, I'm pre-recording this, so I don't even know who the winner is at this point. But I'm sure that if you head over to my Twitter, you can find the winner there. I'm gonna prime my eye with this. It's a paint pot from MAC in the color of Painterly. I'm spreading that out, and I'm spreading it all the way out here too, because if you look at this eye, the eyeshadow goes all the way out. Blending it out with my finger. Going into my Sephora Pro palette, I'm gonna use this as my first color. I'm taking an E21 from Sigma, kind of making a mess, and going above my crease and out. This looks kind of messy, but don't worry. Carrying it a little bit in, but not much. You see how I put the bulk of the color out here and then carried it inward. Now I want to take this palette from Juvia's Place. It's called the Nubian 2, and I'm going to work with this orange. That color is called Morocco. I'm going to just kind of overlap the two. Again, it's a little messy. I don't really care because I'll be cleaning it up eventually. For that, I'm using a MAC brush, one of my favorites. It's a 221, and I'm going to take a pencil brush. Dipped it into my orange and really focusing on merging the two colors together. Keep adding and adding to that orange till I get no seam. I don't want you to be able to see where the brown stops and the orange starts. Going back into my Sigma Pro, I'm gonna darken that orangey brown again. To create my cut crease, I have to clean up my edge. I'm gonna take an angled brush from Sigma, and just like you would do with concealer to the brow, I'm using my primer to clean up my edge. Essentially, I'm just erasing any area where I didn't want that brown to be. Now it's just a process of adjusting, adding a little bit more brown, making sure that that is defined the way I want it to be. I'm using that MAC brush to go back into my orange, making sure that that's as pronounced as I want it to be. You really are just picking up your brush, putting down your brush, picking up all of your utensils, adding a little bit more, blending a little bit more until you get it right. So if you're in the process of doing this on somebody else and you feel like, oh my God, I should get it right away, that's the wrong mindset to have, because it's just a matter of adjusting until you get it where you want it to be. There's nothing wrong with adding a little bit more, picking up another brush. That's just the process. Gotta tell you, I am loving, like, absolutely loving this pencil that I showed you guys from Benefit. It's called the Precisely My Brow Pencil. I love that it has a little spoolie on the other end, and I really just love the color. It's not as harsh as my normal spiked pencil. I do, however, still have to combine the two. In putting the product on in areas that doesn't have hair already, I needed something a little bit darker. So right at the bottom and the tail end is where I'll use my handy dandy spiked. And again, it's the same concept as what you just saw me do to create my cut crease and clean up my edge. I'm doing the same thing with concealer to clean up my brow. Just like that, it's like creating a highlight. But to really make it pop, I'm gonna use this color called Zuri, also in my Juvia's Place palette. And I'm placing that color just for like a pop of shininess right at my arch, carrying it down to blend into that orange. Gonna take the brush that I used to place the orange, not adding anything, but just kind of merging the two. If I found that I needed to add, I would, but I don't think that I do. Okay, and for this inner eye here, I'm gonna take the same color that I just put down as my highlight, and I'm also going to take this kind of pinky color and put it over top. This is from my Kiko palette. Taking a MAC 239, I'm putting that shimmery color up against that edge, but not carrying it all the way in because you see I have other colors blended there. First, I'm putting down the Juvia's Place, then I'm gonna go over it with that Kiko color. And I want to take this orangey color from Makeup Forever. I never know what Makeup Forever's numbering system is, so you tell me if you know what that says, but I'm gonna go with reference 5. Anyway, I'm starting to merge those two colors, being careful not to go over top of the cut crease that we created. Really packing that on, merging the two colors. You see I'm placing more than I'm rubbing, which will help make that color more pronounced. Being so careful not to get too close to our crease, but still try to get right up against it. Picking up my brush that I put on those first two colors with on the lid, just gonna kind of merge them in the middle. Again, I don't want you to see where one starts, the other stops. And now I want to take this color, which actually says that it's a blush from Makeup Forever. I'm gonna say it's a number 58, and I'm really packing that onto the end of my lid. Starting at the end and then working my way in, trying to merge the two. Making sure that I get right up against my crease. I don't want you to see the white of the primer that we cleaned up our cut crease with. And just blending them together. I'm gonna take an angled brush and this dark purple from Juvia's Place. That color is called Layla. I'm gonna act as if I'm creating a wing liner with it. Before I even did that, I should have cleaned up my edge. So I'm gonna take a wet wipe. And very carefully drag it up. Look at that, no tape. No tape necessary. Great, so now I have a guideline to go off of on where I'm putting this kind of sort of wing. Taking another pencil brush, I'm going into this purple. That is called Jezebel. And I'm going to overlap with my kind of sort of wing there, blending this kind of eggplant purple. And I can again go in and make sure that my dark purple is dark enough to my liking. Okay, and is my shape totally perfect? No. Do I care? Nah. Right up against that edge. Ah, voila. To be honest with you, my face is lopsided. So I don't have a perfectly symmetrical face. One eyebrow is always higher than the other, because it just is. One eyeball is higher than the other. One eye socket is higher than the other. Do you guys know that they say that the closer your face is to being perfectly symmetrical, that is why some people are more beautiful than others. So the Kim Kardashians of the world supposedly have a closer symmetry to their face. So if you got a lopsided face like me, you're not alone. So I'm gonna start to blend this out and then I will be right back after all of that is done. Okay, so I decided to already put my lash on. I've already powdered myself, contoured myself, all that jazz. And now I can focus on the under eye. I decided what I was going to do and did it. Don't mind the translucent powder on that, but I'm gonna take that purple color that I put down, my pencil brush, just carrying it into that dark purple. I'm carrying it kind of low too. Not all the way in though. And then back to our darkest purple with an angled brush, right up against that waterline, joining it into that blended out wing that I made there. Staying right up against the lash line. And I want to put the shimmery color right at the tear duct, that color that we put right in here and also underneath the brow. Right at the tear duct, merge it in. And then I'm just going to line my waterline with some black. Just a cheap black pencil I picked up God knows where. Speaking of cheap, I like my lashes cheap. I get these lashes from Spring Garden Beauty Supply in Philly. I'll put a link in the description, but I'm not going to line all the way on top because I don't want to close off my eye and I want you to be able to see the work that I've done there. So I think that was enough of a line, the dark purple that we put down. I don't really feel like I need any more definition. So I'm just going to pop this on and throw on my mascara. Rocket Volume from Maybelline is my favorite. How do you guys feel about using that orangey color as our blush? I just want to try it. It is labeled as a blush, so let's just see how we feel about this here. Super pigmented. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. I've had this for like ever. Never once considered using it as a blush. I always like to put a little tiny bit on my nose. I feel like when I was a teenager, I saw Kevin Aquan say that, so I always did it. Let's use my Sephora highlight palette. This is the Luminizer palette. I'm going to use this one, which I'll say is kind of like Gold Deposit from MAC. Love it, because I love it. That palette is like legit the only highlighter palette that you need in your kit. It covers everybody from like white girls to brown skin girls. I am so confused about what to do for this lip. Like, we already have something dramatic going on. Don't want to screw it up and make it even more dramatic, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, we could go so many places with this. MAC legit sent me like this big ass thing. Do you see how big this is? It's got all of these colors in it. And God bless them. It's got like their essential lipsticks in it. And then on top of that, it's got a perfume in each one of these slots. Isn't that so dope? These are like little drawers. So cool, right? And like I said, each one has a fragrance. It's like a fragrance named after the lipstick. I just opened this up. It's Candy Yum Yum. Oh my God. It smells so good. Oh, I haven't smelled any of the other ones. I haven't opened any of the other ones. And I'm just so happen, like, I'm very particular about my fragrances. This smells amazing. I hope that I don't even know if this is like a special or what the deal is like, but I hope that they continue to sell this because I will absolutely come back and buy Candy Yum Yum. And then see for each fragrance, there's a matching lipstick. How cute is that? But also in Candy Yum Yum, they gave me little balls of chocolate. I love you, Mac. I mean, you just really understand me, Mac. All I need is to smell good, feel pretty, and eat chocolate. You know? How about Heroine? I mean, I might as well open it and smell it while I'm at it. Don't know how I feel about Heroine, Mac. I think I'm going to, take my mother's suggestion and stay very far away from Heroine. I don't even think my grandmother would bang with that. Oh. Okay. Heroine the lipstick, however. We could do that. I could have done like a real nude too, you know, just let the lips stand out, but I'm extra. And I could take Hex or Urban Decay. Yo, seriously, if you are trying to repel men or just be single for the rest of your life, Heroine is it for you. Does it make our teeth yellow? Love that Urban Decay Hex. And there it is. I'm gonna have to say that I really like this. If you could find a place for it, why not? How long would it take me to do something like this on someone else? Believe it or not, especially because this cut crease doesn't have any glitter, I'm gonna say that this is a pretty easy one. It may take an hour to an hour and 15, assuming that the client is gonna be on their phone and, you know, moving around. But don't go troubling yourself trying to learn how to do looks like this, because you will seldom be asked to do looks like this unless you're doing proms or something. Still, it is never a bad idea to learn as much as you can. For the key products that I used, you can look in the description box down below. Also, please make sure that you subscribe and you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And I will see you guys right back here real soon. Thanks. Bye. That purple was cool, but it was just a bit much for me. Switched it up and I feel a hell of a lot better about this color. Another classic color from MAC, Velvet Teddy. And this is a color that looks good. It's a nude that looks good even on brown skin girls, which is why I always carry this. Lined it with Urban Decay's 24 Hour Glide On lip liner in Conspiracy.